Today we're going to be fixing the LG G4.
You know what's the TV remote?
Today we're going to be fixing the TV remote. This video will walk you through how to replace the screen on an LG G4. You'll need this repair if your glass is broken, there's damage to the LCD, your touchscreen isn't working properly, or a combination of any of these issues. Be sure to watch this video several times before trying the repair on your own. Before we get started, here's 3 important tips to keep in mind with any device repair. Be patient. Take your time. It's easy to make mistakes when you feel rushed. Mother of all Stay organized and keep a clean work area. Most of the screws and components are small and easy to lose. Where's that screw? Oh. No. Use the appropriate tools. Using the recommended tools will ensure that the repair is done efficiently with minimal risk of damaging your device. Alright, so for the first step, we're going to use our nylon spudger to remove the back plate. Next thing we want to do is go ahead and remove the battery. Get under the bottom there and it just pops right out. And typically there would be an SD card as well as a SIM card, and we'll just use our fingers to slide those out. And then we'll go ahead and remove the 11 screws around the housing of the phone. Once we get all 11 screws out, we're ready to lift the back plate off to expose the motherboard. We'll go ahead and get that in right on the side there. Once you get it in, you want to maybe give it a little tiny bit of a turn. You'll feel it pop up. From there, you kind of use your hands. All right, so we'll go ahead and disconnect our front camera, back camera, and the flex cable towards the charging port down here. We'll start with the front-facing camera. This black box with the ribbon connected to the black rectangle is what we want to disconnect. We'll go ahead and get under that black rectangle with our plastic spudger and gently lift up to disconnect it from the motherboard. Next, we'll go ahead and remove the rear-facing camera, which is located in the middle. You can see to the left is the flex cable connected to the motherboard, so we'll go ahead and get our plastic spudger gently under that to lift it up. It does extend underneath the motherboard on the right side, so we want to go ahead and lift it out on a 45-degree angle. This silver connector at the bottom here is connected to the LCD in the screen. We'll just go ahead and do the same thing. Gently get under, it should pop right up. Once you get these all disconnected, the motherboard will come out relatively easy. We'll just start at the bottom and lift up, gently put that aside. Once the motherboard is out, we're going to go ahead and remove the vibrating motor as well as the ear speaker, which is located at the top right above where the rear camera is located. To remove our vibrating motor, we're going to go ahead and use the pointy side of the metal spudger. There's a little bit of an opening on the frame here where you can get under. Same thing we did with the plastic spudger. Once you get under, you don't want to give it too much pressure, but just a nice turn. You'll feel the adhesive come loose, and you can grab it out with your finger. With the earpiece speaker here, these 2 gold pads are where it connects to the motherboard, and that is what we want to lift first. Gently grab it with our fingers and lift it out and put it aside. So once we get everything removed, we'll go ahead and grab our new part. With the part that we recommend that includes the frame, all we have to do is reinstall the parts that we just removed. We'll go ahead and start where we left off, and we'll start with the ear speaker first. Go ahead and pop it right into that little rectangle that it fits in. You just want to gently push the connector right back down. Next we'll have the vibrating motor. It should fit perfectly right into that spot. And then we're ready to put the motherboard back into the phone. When putting the motherboard back in the phone, we'll put it in a 45-degree angle starting at the top and then gently bring it down. Be sure to push the LCD flex cable out of the way so it does not get caught underneath the motherboard. Once we have the motherboard back in the phone, we can go ahead and start reconnecting. We'll start with the LCD and screen connector. You just gently pop that back into the connection. You should hear a nice click. Try not to push too hard because you can damage the pins. Next, we'll go ahead and put the rear camera back in. We'll do it at a 45-degree angle coming in from the left side. It should fit right back down and also reconnect. And last but not least, the front camera. Right back in the spot that it came out of. Reconnects to the motherboard. Now, before we put the back housing back on, we'll go ahead and take a moment to double check all of our connections, make sure everything's nice and tight, and we haven't missed anything. The back plate is relatively easy to get back on. You just want to position it, give it a little bit of pressure on the edges. You'll start to hear those clips connect. Once the back plate is snapped into place, we can go ahead and put the 11 screws back in the phone. Once the back plate is fully screwed on, we can go ahead and put our SIM card and SD card back into the trays, as well as the battery. And we can go ahead and snap the battery cover back onto the back of the phone. Next, we want to make sure it turns on and test all the components to make sure everything is working properly.
That's all there is to it. You should now have a working LG G4 with a new screen for right around $50. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed or aren't comfortable doing the repair yourself, that's okay. I get scared sometimes too. Expert and professional technicians at Jet City Device Repair can help.